Welcome back to the People Touching People Forum, the podcast where real talk, real life issues, and real hope. I'm glad you have tuned in today. I'm sitting here with our incredible co-host, Ms. Donna Thomas and Ms. Nadine Pusey. And the topic we are diving into today is one that hits close to home for all of us. The topic, of course, is when will it be enough? When will we have learned enough, earned enough, achieved enough, been praised enough, validate enough? When do we finally get across the finishing line and feel like we have had enough? Because for so many people right now, worried about their jobs, their bills, whenever they have even come to a point they are in need at work, they have to go to work the next day. It feels like we are running and running and running. So much to do and never actually arrived anywhere. Ladies, I would like to say welcome. Welcome. This is going to be a very provoking topic, very interesting topic. And so let's talk about the pressures that keeps us. Ms. Thomas, I want to start with you. Welcome again. Many people today say they feel like the world is moving faster than they can physically, mentally, or emotionally keep up with. It's like the finish line keeps moving 10 miles down the road every time you get closer to it. What can we learn as we lay a foundation, Ms. Thomas, on this topic about these people?
Actually, it is quite heavy.
Wow.
The struggles are actually real.
Yes.
We often use the phrase, the struggles are real, but they are real. Trust me, they are. So a lot of people are feeling intense pressure. They don't feel like they're thriving. They feel like they're barely surviving. They're terrified that if they stop running, even for a single moment, they lose everything they've spent a lifetime working for.
That's right. Ms. Pusey.
Yeah, it's true. I'm also hearing similar things and feeling similar things. So actually, I was talking to a lady, about 52 years old, and highly competent, decades of experience. And she was saying that she's still been asked to master new digital systems at work just to keep her job.
Wow.
And these are jobs that she has been doing successfully for many years. She mentioned she's tired, but she can't afford to be tired, and she certainly can't afford to quit.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're talking about vacations. A lot of us will love the idea of going on vacation, right? But we go on vacations, and then when we get back, we don't really know what's waiting for us. You end up working twice as hard because you work hard to clear your email, to clear all your tasks. You go on vacation, you have fun, but when you get back, it's more than what you've left.
That is right.
So you're working yourself ragged to go on vacation and then working yourself ragged to pay for it or to catch up from it. Even your rest feels like a job. It's a continuous, vicious cycle. It never ends.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. Well, Ms. Thomas, let me ask you this then. A lot of people just went through a return to office mandate after years of working from home. As we have known, you know exactly what happened to the pandemic issues and all that. How does this pressure shows up differently for someone dealing with that right now?
Well, that's a good example because it's affecting me.
Okay.
For a lot of folks, it's not just the commute back and forth. It's a loss of control. That finally, we had finally built a rhythm that worked for our family, for mental health, for our sanity and our families. And now that rhythm gets ripped away and we're told just to adjust. That loss of control is its own kind of exhaustion, separate from the actual workload.
Oh, wow, it's amazing, isn't it? Well, let's talk about the hamster wheel effect. And there is such a principle out there. It really is a loop, we agree, ladies. Psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill, yeah? But in everyday life, it just feels like a hamster wheel. You're pouring out massive amount of energy. Your legs are moving at top speed. But if you look around, you haven't moved an inch from where you started. Think about that. So let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Is this actually about ambition, or is it all about fear? Miss Thomas, maybe you can take it up from there, please.
90% of the time,
Come on.
it's fear when ambition's close. People tell me all the time, I don't even know what I'm chasing anymore.
Wow.
I don't even want to have the things I have. I just know I can't stop.
Wow.
Because the system is designed to keep us wanting more. And I'm sure we can all agree on that. We want more money, more status, more approval, more productivity. If we leave it up to the world, it will never be enough.
Wow. Well, Miss Pusey?
No, I completely agree.
Wow.
And I think we often confuse the word enough
Come on.
with the word everything. We fall in the trap of thinking, I'll finally feel secure once I know everything.
All right.
Once I've mastered everything. Once I've achieved everything. But that's statistically and psychologically impossible.
Wow.
Right? There's too much information out there, too many conflicting expectations, too many people to compare ourselves to.
Yes.
We have to realize something, which I don't believe that we were created to know everything. We weren't created to carry everything.
All right.
And we certainly were not created to live in a constant state of hyperdrive like what we're doing now.
Wow.
Agreed.
So the advantages and disadvantages, which maybe we'll touch on that later on, right? It's important. Nothing is wrong with being ambitious.
Exactly.
Every day we learn. Life is the greatest teacher. And I have dealt with clients of mine who've been working for years, professional, actually, at least 2 or 3 persons which I know. And the moment they retired, without doing anything after, they just began to deteriorate physically and mentally. So there's some disadvantages and advantages by keep working, keep on doing things. Keep your mind sharp. Keep your body active. Even if it's volunteering, when you're finished, get into some form of activities. That's important.
But I think there's a difference, though, in learning that way because you want to, you intentionally want to do that and you're interested in the topic. What I find now that many persons might be facing is that they've gone through the educational thing. They've done the degree, they've done the master's, they've got the job. And now with technology increasing and changing, it's like you have to be certified in almost everything. And this is like every 2 years. What you're certified in 2 years ago is now null and void.
That is true.
You have to get the other thing to stay employed. So it's almost exhausting.
But also, I find that even when mature workers are certified, the workforce tend to gravitate to the younger generation.
That is true. That is true. And of course, my experience over the years, when I finished high school years ago, that was the norm. Everybody wants to go to high school. Everybody wants to get their O-levels, A-levels. That was what was accepted to get a good job in that time. And then it moves from high school to college. You have to have a college degree. And so everybody, well, of course, most of us strive to get to a college degree. And then there's a shift again as we evolve from college degrees. College degrees now as certificates or diploma doesn't bear much credence out there. So it moves from college degrees now to undergrads. You know, everybody wants to have their undergrads degree. And now if you follow the trend of what's happening in our world, it has gone from undergrads now to MBA, a master. And it's come to the place where now even the masters now are not bearing the fruits. So it's all PhD now. Have you seen the difference?
There's also a shift back to certification.
Oh, there you go.
With a master's degree, say you are in general administration, business administration. But whatever field you go in, if you're in HR, you have to be certified in that. And in different areas. If you're in IT, you have to be certified in other, licenses.
Wow.
About that. We talk about spread like Islam.
So you never stop learning.
Yes.
Wow, wow, it's amazing. That's great. Let's go further, ladies. This is quite interesting. Let's talk about human beings and human doings. I love that. There's a difference between human beings and human doings. Do you agree, ladies? It's often said we are human beings, not human doings. We were created to experience life. You agree, ladies? Not just to constantly perform in it. We were made to love, to connect with one another, to rest, to walk. Are you there? In nature, to worship, to simply sit still and breathe at times. But the modern world has subtly turned us into machine, or they're trying to. We are expected to know everything, respond to everything, keep up with everything, and take every online courses. Wow, that is something. What is going on out here? I have to ask, ladies, because the reality is hitting us right now. That's the world we're living in. Why do we actually let this happen to ourselves? Miss Donna, maybe you might be able to help us as a professional.
One word, fear. The fear of being replaced.
Wow.
And that fear is quietly shaping everything, of course.
Wow.
In today's economy and culture, people feel like they're always just one mistake, one slow email response, or one bad quarter away from losing their job, their reputation, and their financial stability. Because if you lose your job, of course, you're going to have financial instability.
That's right. That's right.
So there's this fear that's lurking around. You know what I mean? So we overwork, we overcommit, we say yes when we should say no. We sacrifice our health on the altar of job security, not realizing that if we drop dead tomorrow, our posting will be online before our obituary is.
That is true.
Is so true.
That is true.
So true.
Let's pause for a moment. Let's bring it home. We are Canadians. We are living in Canada, and we are from the islands. And we can go back and visit the islands and go through the vacation stage down there. But there seems to be, from my perspective, when I go back to Jamaica, the folks are more relaxed. Maybe it's just my perspective. I have colleagues that are in the executive field, they're working, but after the end of the day, they have another day before night comes. Here in Canada, we are always moving, we're always going. Some of us have 3-4 jobs. It never ends. And I wonder, why is that? Is it because of the demands of the culture, the society, or is it possible that we might have put ourselves in a situation, right? Because of the expenses that we have to meet and all of that stuff. But there's something there that we need to stop and to evaluate and look into. We, as you said, we work ourselves to the bone. Yeah, we work 24 hours, and at the end of the day, if we die, hey, there's somebody to replace us. So at what point do we really put a stop and start to think about ourselves, start to think about our health and our family, and also our leisure? It can't be just work. We have to have time for ourselves and our families too. So again, Miss Donna, I'm coming back to, let me go. A lot of people then, hear me out, that are listening right now, yeah? They're watching us right now. AI, tools do part of their job faster. We want to go down that road now, that they used to be able to do. How does that specific fear fits into everything we just talked about, or we are now talking about? Can you help us?
Yeah. And that fear isn't new. It's the same replaceability fear people have carried for generations.
That's right.
What changed is the actual tool. 20 years ago, it was outsourcing. 40 years ago, it was automation on the factory floor. Today, it's AI.
That's right.
The underlying question is, am I only valuable for what I produce? And that's exactly the lie we're trying to untangle today.
Wow.
It never ends.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And you have that.
Yes, please.
we're talking earlier
Go ahead.
about having to learn something.
That's right.
Again, this is one of the things that people are being asked in the organization to make sure that no, because
Wow.
if you don't know this, there's not going to be a
That is
place
right.
for you.
That is right.
This is a very real thing that's happening now.
So it's a reality then.
Yeah.
Whether we want to accept it or not, but we have to. It's a reality. We have to retrain. We have to learn new things, new skills, new talents, and we have to, or else we're going to be left behind. Isn't that something?
And it's almost like every 6 months there's a new one.
Wow.
It feels that way.
Wow.
That you have to learn.
But again, that's the world that we live in today.
It's the world that we live in.
And it's just those that are trained and those that are making themselves, they're preparing themselves for change will be successful, unfortunately. Eh?
The speed of change, though. Change is important. It's
Yes.
But the speed of change. You don't get a chance to acclimatize to walk before you have to learn something else.
Wow.
So that needs to be looked at as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true. As soon as you get accustomed to doing one task this way, then you hear change. You have to train for that. It happens in our field all the time.
We're going to talk about at what point, how do we change, maybe coming to the end of this session, because we have to help some of these folks that are stuck right now. And they're sitting there watching and listening and says, well, you are talking my language, but I need help. So we'll address some of that later on. Is that good? What about trapped in a job that is also killing us? There are some people that are just stuck. Yeah. Again, you talk about fear. Some people have worked in a company for 20, 30, 40 years. They got to a place where it's like a mundane thing. They begin to hate their job. But they're stuck because of fear. Fear, what if I retire? What if I quit this job? Would I be able? And so it's all about fear, isn't it? And uncertainties and so forth. So let's spend a few moments. Let's look at another reality. Because there are people listening right now, and we agree, who are nodding their heads, we agree, that they feel completely trapped in their jobs. Their jobs are literally killing them, mentally, emotionally, physically. But they look at the current economical environment, the cost of living, the job market, and they say, as I would say to you and I, Dr. Lee, or to any one of us, would say, I cannot afford to just walk away. I have a family. They always talk about that. I have bills to pay. I have mortgages. I have a car. I have to service my bills. What do I do? How do they handle this annoying space between survival and self-destruction?
That's a good question.
That's a very, very intriguing question.
Yeah.
Can you help us?
It's one thing to say just quit and follow your passion, but that's privileged advice that doesn't work for a parent trying to pay the rent or buy groceries or send your children to school. When you feel like your job is killing you, but you cannot afford to leave, you experience a kind of stress called anticipatory burnout.
Yes.
You're exhausted before the shift even starts.
Wow.
Because your brain has started treating your workplace like a threat zone. If you're in that survival holding pattern right now, you have to shift your strategy.
Come on.
If you cannot change your employment immediately, you must change your relationship to the employment.
Come on.
You perform your duties with excellence, but you stop giving them your soul. You check in, you do the job you're paid to do, and you check out. You stop volunteering for extra emotional weight, which can be hard for some people because of their commitment, right? But we're talking about sometimes thriving.
That's right.
And in order to thrive, sometimes you have to make a shift.
Yes. Yes. Let me just stop there for a moment. Let's talk about education. Can we just drop about training, retraining? This is important. So now that we know this is a real reality matter issue we are dealing with, we have to encourage the people that even though they're in a job, they should always take courses, always learning new skills. And it also takes discipline. A lot of people refuse to go back to school, take part-time courses, online courses, what you're doing, you're preparing yourself for change. And again, ladies, I am a living example. I must say this, and I say it humble before you. When I look back in my life, the amount of certification that I have, and I've lived in this country 46 years. I've never had any unemployment, was never laid off. I've had position because I've trained myself. I was a night auditor, accountant, sales manager, project manager, general manager, teacher, real estate agent. These things did not come overnight. I keep training myself. I keep taking courses. The reason why, so again, you have to help me. I'm trying to help somebody. My life, I'm pliable. I can fit into any position. If this one fails, because I'm training. So we have to agree and encourage that we have to keep on learning new things, new skills, because you never know. Yes, please.
But let me be quick to add.
Please.
It's all about the mindset.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
You have to want it. Not everybody wants to be educated. They have the basic, and some people are quite satisfied. Some people have the urge to, they can't afford to, they have bills, they have kids to take care of. But there are so many issues that prevent people from being retrained. But yet there are some who are passionate about it. They're always doing something, trying to retrain, trying to keep up with industry. Yes, there are many people.
And to also add to what you're saying, let's leave the university and the college out. Let's leave the intellectual part out. What about skills? What about what are you good at? You know, you have some ladies, you know, they love to bake cakes. They love to sew. These are additional things, you know, that you can create and it becomes a successful business for you. You know, there was one lady, you know her mom had a sewing machine. She was a project manager at this company. And her mom had an old sewing machine there. And the mom died. And she says one day, she took up this sewing machine, said, let me just try. And amazingly, she's sewing all her clothes, all her children's clothes. She just, it's like a miracle. She didn't know that she had the talent. She was always watching her mom and now. So these are some of the things. Sometimes we have the answer in front of us, you know. It's just for us to sort of tap into and see what is it that I love, what is it that I can do. You'll be surprised. Please go ahead, madam.
I'm wondering if we should make a distinction, though, based on the topic of discussion today. When is it enough? When will it be enough? I wonder if we should make a distinction of learning is good, yes, and we should all strive for that.
Yes.
We keep up. But when it's almost, what's what I'm looking for, almost like forced learning, you have to do this in order to survive, whether you like it or not, whether you're interested in it or not, and having to do it 6 months to a year, you have to keep, at that point, it can become exhausting.
Yes.
Because if you've gone through, like you say, the university, the master's, second master's, PhD, or in IT, all of those new certifications, Microsoft, AWS, all of that, and going in 2 years, it's almost as if it's not ongoing, you have to do it again.
Yes.
That aspect of it is something different. So I think in your topic, that's the area that we
Well,
how do we help people who are feeling
we have to. But then we need to give them answers.
Yes.
I mean, we cannot leave them just being burnt out because they want some answers. How can we help them? So let's go further. Let's go see what we have to offer. This is so profound. The moment you start working on a plan to leave, even if it takes 6 months or a year to execute, you cease to be a helpless victim of your circumstances. You become the author of your next chapter. You can tolerate a heavy storm when you know exactly where the shelter is. It's all about perception, it's about mindset, it's about preparation. Do you agree, ladies? People pleasing and impossible expectations. That's another topic area. Let's dig a little bit deeper, ladies. A massive fuel source for this hamster wheel, and a big reason people feel so suffocated is tough workplace. It's people pleasing also. Do you agree? It's not just in the workplace, dealing with people. This deep-seated, desperate need to be liked, accepted, and approved of by everyone and anyone around us. Who are we trying to impress? I ask. And what is the cost? Ms. Pius, maybe you can help us on that matter.
Well, we try to people please at this level.
Come on.
The cost is everything.
Okay.
But it costs your peace, your joy, your time, your energy, and even your health. If it's consistent and constant, it costs your health. People are walking around utterly exhausted, spending a lot of their time, 100% of their time, trying to be a specific version of themselves that other people prefer.
Wow.
But the irony is, and I want everyone who's listening to really hear this, most people don't even know what they want from you.
That's right.
They only know what they want from you in that exact fleeting moment.
That is true.
To make their own lives easier. So the world at large is never going to fully satisfy you. And it's not going to like you all the time.
Wow.
The people who like you, who truly matter, your family, your friends, they'll like you without the performance, and you don't need to put on a show for them.
That is true. You know, I've always said there are three groups of persons that come into your life, and it bears repeating. Number one, those that come into your life for a season, and those that come into your life for a reason, those that come into your life for a lifetime. We have to be able to distinguish various type of groups of people into our lives. And you said it right, we will never be able to please all the people all the time. And if there are people that will hail you, adore you, celebrate you, and there's the same group of people, if you're not careful, will turn around and curse you after they get what they want out of you. So there must be a balance, isn't it? You agree. So let's go further, ladies. This looks difficult at work than it does at home, doesn't it? Ms. Pusey, you want to pick up from there?
Yeah, it can look different, and it's important to make that.
Yes.
At work, people pleasing usually sound like saying yes to extra projects. You mentioned something about that.
Okay.
Yes to the extra shift, to the extra deadline, because you're scared that saying no makes you look replaceable.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Your at home, this usually sounds like saying yes out of guilt.
Okay,
guilt.
wow.
Guilt towards your kids, guilt towards your partner. It's the same behavior with two different environments, different fears underneath it.
Yes.
And they don't need two different fixes at work versus at home.
Yes.
You need to protect what's valuable to you by doing excellent work within boundaries, set those boundaries. Not by saying yes to everything. At home, you protect your relationships.
That's right.
By being honest about your limits and by not overcompensating with things or favors.
Is it okay to always say yes?
No.
Absolutely not.
I hope not. So it's okay to say no at times. Okay, well, I want to make sure, because there are some folks, they just believe that they have to always be saying yes, yes, yes. There comes a time you have to say no, and it's healthy. And sometimes too, you don't even have to apologize, because number one, as you said, you have to first of all think about yourself. You can run yourself ragged, and there comes a time you need rest. You need me time too. So it's important.
Yes.
Real life.
That saying no is just a response for myself.
That's right.
You don't have to hurry. You don't have to listen. If you don't want to do it, no, that's my answer.
So you know some folks won't accept it, but that's just a fact of life.
Yeah. And sometimes to protect your peace.
Oh yes, oh yes.
You have to say no.
Of course.
And people will use you.
Of course.
Then they'll abuse you.
Oh.
Then they'll refuse you. So you gotta say
I love that one. They will use you.
Then they will abuse
you.
Then they will refuse you.
And then they'll criticize you. This is very good, ladies. Very good. A real life solution. Let's go a bit further. Are you enjoying this? And I'm sure our friends and loved ones are enjoying it too. Thank them. Thank them for joining us. Let us get practical for a moment. People listened right now needs real help, real steps, not empty motivational slogans. And sometimes we hear a lot of that on television. Ms. Thomas, give us one practical shift someone can make today. We have talked about a few thoughts, very intriguing topics, but bring it home.
We can limit the information that we consume. And we hear that all the time. Limit our time with social media.
Yes.
Limit our time in general with certain information. You don't need to know certain information. So it's not just talking about social media or the news, information in general. Give yourself permission not to know everything.
That's right.
You don't need to read every book or listen to every podcast or keep up with every industry update.
Yes.
Your brain wasn't designed or wired to process global data. Guard your mind like it's your most valuable asset.
Yes.
A small, no-cost way to start. Turn off notifications after 6 p.m. every single day. Not forever, just try for 1 week and notice how your evenings feel different.
Can I interrupt you? Did you say turn off notification at 6 o'clock? You're talking to the world here.
Yes.
Is that practical? I want to make sure.
Of course, because this is something that you're not accustomed to doing.
Of course, it's discipline, isn't it?
But it's good to try it. It doesn't hurt, right?
Wow. Oh, this is something. I'm learning something
For
too.
1 day.
Even for 1 day. Wow.
Yeah, just take it step by step.
One
Just
step
take
at a
baby
time.
steps first. Yeah.
Wow, that's excellent. Excellent thought. And I'm learning. I'm sure we're all learning. Our friends are learning. Miss Fuse, if you agree, please continue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give another practical way.
One of the things that we need to do, back to our topic, enough, is to define enough.
Okay.
And actually write it down, write it down, make it plain.
You remember that?
I love that.
Ask yourself, what is enough money for my family? What is enough rest? What is enough achievement? What is enough validation?
Yes.
Write it down. Know what your values are.
Yes.
Thinking about a very practical example,
Yes.
a lot of persons will say, they'll feel successful when they have a big house.
Okay. All right.
A lot of work with a huge house.
Yes.
And this is because they never have one, their co-workers have one, but
Yes.
you don't need to have a big house.
Yes.
Just have one that is enough
Yes.
size for your family. Where it is intimate, it's enough space for you and your family. You don't have to that big, and then you're just living in one little section of the house. You have the whole house to clean and to do and the upkeep and all of that. That's just too much.
It's like trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
And that way too, you aren't carrying a suffocating mortgage, astronomical bills, and you can actually save money for retirement that way.
Wow.
Take your family traveling, sleep peacefully at night.
Wow.
Every single person in your household doesn't need to have own their own car. Right? You don't need to have 4 cars, 4 cars. All the kids have a car. Take public transit if it works, right? Just stressing out yourself and all this specific. You are the one carrying those things.
That is true.
Just
that is true.
To keep up with the Joneses.
And what you said is right. I totally agree with you. Please continue.
Some people have to change their vehicle every month and 2 years. It's okay to buy that e-star. A vehicle is there to have some luxuries, but really it's taking from point A to point B. And if it works, then don't put yourself in debt or having to work extra hours just to pay off a car rent. Stop doing that. So define your enough. Because if you don't define it, the world will define it for you.
That's right.
As I mentioned, what you're looking at in your sleep, what you're trying to keep up with, that will define it for you. And it's not only about money, it's also about your time. Protect, as we're talking about, 1 full day a week.
Yes.
Even 1 evening, if you have to start there, with 0 work obligations. Phone up, laptop closed. That single moment does more for your nervous system than almost anything else on your list. So these are practical steps that you can try. Just try. Start with one evening, or one day or one evening.
Yes.
After work, phone off, laptop close,
Wow.
relax and enjoy your time with your family.
I must admit, I will be trying it. As you know, my schedule, but what you just shared is very practical. But I must say, for me, I'm happy. I thank God give me the ability. I know when I need my me time. And I know how to shut away from everyone and just take my me time. And because that's important. It's so important. All of us need that, eh? All right. So, Ms. Thomas, please go ahead.
Yeah, to build on that, we often apologize for resting or getting our me time.
Oh, dear.
We've been conditioned to think rest is a reward we only get after we're completely depleted. Rest is not a reward, it's a biological and spiritual requirement.
Yes.
We all need that time by ourselves to just sit and relax and feel comfortable and not feeling guilty.
Yes. Yes. That is so important.
And connect or reconnect with God.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I'm in a situation, Sunday, when I said I'm taking the evening off, I didn't feel guilty because I needed rest. I just felt it was a time for me, and I had a wonderful time. I really did. I got home and, supper, and I got a chance, believe it or not, Sunday evening to watch a country western, a movie.
See?
A Sunday evening.
All of the pleasure.
I'm telling you. And I just relaxed, and I had a wonderful time. And here's another day, we pick up where we left off. But these are practical helps nuggets you're giving us to help us, to become successful. Let's talk about, go further then, look at this. From the Christian perspective, because the principle still remains and applies to right across the board. Am I right? Christians and non-Christian alike. I want to take a moment to speak directly to the believers listening today, and they are Christians persons, the religious persons that are listening today, but also to anyone out there simply trying to find a way to breathe in this heavy world, a toxic world, and Christians are in that position too. I have to agree. That's right. If you look at Scripture, God never once asked you to do anything or to do everything to oneself. He never asked you to keep up with the frantic wreath neck paste of modern culture. He never asked you to carry the weight of every single burden on your own two shoulders. What he asked of you was to be present, to be faithful in the small things, to be loving to the persons in front of you, to be whole, and explicitly told us to give the rest over to him. The things that we cannot do, he said, cast all your cares upon me, or I care for you. Why do we carry the burden? Why do we think that we can carry the entire world on our shoulders when he's there to help us? You agree, lady? But if you don't share the Christian faith, the universal principle still stands as solid as a rock. You cannot live a deeply meaningful, joyful life while simultaneously trying to meet every impossible, every shifting expectation. You will die, you'll burn out, you'll destroy yourself. You see, and so there comes a time we have to draw a line. There comes a time we have to remember that we are just flesh and blood. There comes a time we have to remember that we are not machines. Even machines burnt out. They have to be maintained. So here we are, ladies. I think what we've just shared is very valuable for us and for the audience. As we close out today's episode, I want to leave you with the reflection, or this reflection, listen now. If you gain everything this world offers, your ego would still want more. That's just the nature of human being. The more you get is the more you want. There's always more to achieve. There's always more to get. Are you there? If you achieve every single goal you wrote down today, you would instantly create new ones tomorrow. That's a human race for you. If you earn every person's approval around you, every person loves you, like you still crave the next compliment to keep you going. So, when will it be enough? Let me stop there. Mr. Thomas, I would like to jump in right before I go further, please. When will it be enough?
It will never be enough.
Wow.
It's the culture, it's a cultural thing.
Wow.
We're always going.
Wow.
Because time changes.
Wow.
So we always have to change with the times.
Yes.
Some people are not prepared to change. Some people don't even like change.
It's true.
Because change is uncomfortable. You don't know what's going to happen, right? So it becomes enough when you decide to stop performing and start living.
When you decide, when you decide. So you have to come to the place and make a decision. Enough is enough, and I must change.
Yes.
Miss Pusey, please go ahead.
It becomes enough when you decide to be human again.
That's right.
When you decide to release impossible expectations. When you decide to give your burdens to God, or at least stop carrying them alone.
Isn't that something? Hopeful thoughts. My friend, you are enough. You've always been enough. Before you go, I want you to actually do something for me. I want you to listen. Take 1 minute right now and write down your own definition of enough. Then drop it in the comments, in the Facebook, YouTube. Let us hear. Let us hear what you have to say about this podcast today. Because what happens, we have helped you now to look within yourself. We have helped you to open your eyes to the realization that we are living in a world, it's like a fast forward, we're speeding it's like a runaway train, non-stop. Always more demand. We need more time, we need more money, we need more clothes, we need more food, we need more house. It's always more. And because of that, we are always pushing. And at the same time, our bodies are crying out for rest. And so, take a moment, please. Let us hear what you have to say. Share with us. And in our next podcast, we might also discuss some of what we hear from our audience. This is very important, like a feedback. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today on the People Touching People Forum. As usual, before I close, I always ask Ms. Thomas, I always say you have the last word, and then Ms. Pusey, and then we'll just close off this wonderful program.
Thank you so much for joining us for this very interesting topic this evening. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to leave your comments. We actually do read them, and we are grateful that you're able to spend the time to listen and to comment. So feel free to leave a comment for us. And feel also, if you have a topic that you'd like us to discuss, let us know. We are willing, we're available, we're waiting, just waiting on you to do our research and to prepare ourselves to come to you with whatever topic that you're suggesting. So thank you again so much for your time, and thank you for liking and sharing all this.
Ms. Pusey.
Right, just one more thing before we go.
Please go ahead.
You mentioned that to build your exit strategy. I think in a few podcasts that we had a podcast about that.
Yes,
so
yes,
how to
yes.
build that bridge and how to have recycling and those things that you can transition from an exhausting job.
Yes.
So we want to take that as well here, as persons can go back and see some of those strategies that I mentioned are very useful.
Very good, very good. Well, I want to take a moment to thank you also, our friends and loved ones. Just to let you know, there are 5 of us that are part of this program. We have the coordinator, Miss Stacy Ann Spence, and we have the engineer, Mr. Gospel, and my co-host, Ms. Thomas. Donna, it's always a pleasure to have you. Ms. Pusey, it's always a pleasure. And of course, myself, Dr. William Lee, the host of this program. Also, we have a ministry, a very powerful, dynamic, prophetic ministry that is supporting this podcast. The name of it is Victory World Impact Ministry. Telephone number is 416-282-1101 in Toronto. If you're in the area, you'd like to visit the church, on Sundays it's noon, on Sunday in the day, and 7 p.m. in the evening. And they have Bible studies, Wednesdays, 7:30. They have the Young at Heart Seniors Ministry on Tuesdays, 12 to 3. They have a beautiful lunch every Tuesday. Wonderful. We have the Young People Ministry on Friday evening, 7:30 to 9:30. They have a wonderful program going, etc. If you are looking for a church, a family church with your children, husband, wife, family, please give them a call. 416-282-1101. I'm sure they would love to have you. It's a multicultural church. Again, thank you for joining us, and may God richly bless you. Look forward to seeing you next week. There's another program that we'll be putting another topic that we'll be discussing, and so we look forward to you joining us. God bless you. Thank you.